All right, we're going to start off if you can tell us your name and a little bit about your company.
Absolutely. I'm Phil Noelting, founder of Qualify Inc. Qualify is in the HR technology space, and we help companies hire the right people for the right reasons, as well as job seekers find the right careers for the right reasons. So currently we're focused on enterprise and small, medium businesses.
Okay, so tell us exactly how it works.
So the internet did a lot for all of our lives, making it easier on all aspects, from finding the right thing to buying things to scheduling to meeting people. And when it came to hiring people, it made it tougher. Now we have a further reach. We have more fragmented tools. We have more options, and there really is no benchmark for this. The only benchmark that exists is the resume. And that's a very outdated benchmark that is based on pure subjective keywords. So what we're trying to bring is a science to the hiring side, using stuff like psychometric data. So what we're essentially doing is bringing the eHarmony angle to the job market, where we can actually profile someone, let them know who they are as a person, what their motivations are, what their inclinations are, and match that with the right culture as well as the right task.
So yeah, explain that word, psychometrics. What does that mean?
So it really is the psychology, the study of your personality, your metrics around your psycho makeup. So essentially, it's a full accredited field. It's a really strong field in psychology, industrial organization. It started off with our first advisor, who was a PhD in industrial organizational psychology, and she let us know that there really was a way to match people with culture and environment, and aligning values and all those things that are arguably much more important than someone's raw skills. If you find the right person and you put them in the right environment with the right people, you can really train them and teach them anything. If you have the wrong environment but the right skills, it's only a matter of time before that person leaves.
I love this idea. I just want to add that. I think you have a customer. So tell me, how did this all start?
I graduated in a terrible economy, so I was very intrigued with data and big data and predictive algorithms based on analytics, and so just started studying that as a whole. And when it came closer and closer to graduation, started seeing more pains, and seeing some of my best friends that any company would have been lucky to have just weren't even getting the interviews. And so it came boiled down to the fact that the resume is a really outdated piece that anybody can now say they're a team player. Who's going to say they're not a team player that learns quickly? So now you're comparing people that got really good at playing the game, and because it's not a legally defensible document, you can really write whatever you want. So we're in a situation right now where over 50% of resumes have exaggerations or straight up lies on them. And yeah, above 50%, yeah. And there's some studies that even say it's above 80%. Because the level of exaggeration, right, is, white lie won't hurt anyone. It's still a lie, so.
So what phase in the development are you in terms of this product development?
We've done about 3 years of R&D and consulting with, obviously the hiring world is a very fragmented world. You can go build a product for startups that are, very valuable. There's a lot of gaps there. You could also build an enterprise-ready or government-ready tool. What we really wanted to do was change the benchmarks, and to do that, we really had to scour all different verticals and industries. So we've come out with a platform now after 3 years of R&D that is not public yet, but actually does satisfy all those buckets. So we could work with an enterprise client much like we could work with a one-person startup looking to hire their second person, because the tools are the same and the usability is all that needs to be tweaked. So we're at the point right now where we've developed 7 tools. We're commercializing one of them. And it's a sourcing tool, a perpetual sourcing tool. We found that people are typically only starting to look for talent when they have the opening available, when they really should be looking all the time for top talent, and when the position's available, they should just be matching the person very quickly. So we found that time to hire was a tough piece, so we're commercializing that one tool. Over the next 6 months or so, we'll be releasing that platform.
Very exciting. What would you say, why did you decide to go, I know you said it was a tough economy. Is that the reason why you decided to move into a startup, or was there more to it than that?
No, I always knew I was going to be part of a startup. I've always been part of a startup. I have yet to find a single position that wasn't of my own accord that I really enjoyed. I enjoy the learning aspects of a lot of jobs, so I've done the whole internship things. I've worked with a number of large companies, really got a lot of best practices, or in my opinion, worst practices sometimes. So I saw what was out there. I can't say I climbed the ladder in any way, but I always saw inefficiencies. So I was always going after those kinds of things. And when I finally found something that I felt confident was a big enough goal that I would be happy to devote my life for a good amount of time to solving. This was it. So I was involved with 3 or 4 startups beforehand with some friends and some advisors and whatnot. So based on that, I've built a good actionable community that's very intrigued with what we're doing right now.
So Startup Canada is an organization that the raison d'etre really is to try and provide the most support possible to entrepreneurs and startup enterprises. If you had one recommendation, one piece of advice, one ask that you would make, what would it be?
Ask to Startup Canada? Or
in terms of how we could better facilitate or support entrepreneurs.
What I have seen is that entrepreneurs love helping entrepreneurs. But there hasn't been a very easy way to do so. So to give you an idea right now, we're working under an assumption that we would love to offer our tools for free to startups because we've felt it, we've known we've needed it, and right now these kinds of tools are only accessible through headhunters, and no one's going to be, no startup's paying $25,000 to be hiring the next person. So we'd love to be able to offer that, but it's very tough for us to create tiered pricing online where anybody could sign up anywhere and try to game the system. So if there was a way to make it very simple for entrepreneurs to offer their services, and not so much service in terms of consulting, but if they had a platform and they had a tool which was very useful, where they could all come in and share, and they'd be kind of screened by you guys. I see that as hugely beneficial. We see stuff like that happening with Communitech, stuff like that happening at the Accelerator Center, Mars, but it's all individual. And there isn't really a third party that right now that exists that are consolidating all that and creating a Canada-wide entrepreneur help net. And I think that would be very valuable.
I think we just got one of our product lines right there. Thank you very much. That was great.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.